Hi guys, my name is Alex. I'm a sex coach and we're picking up where we left off in Cosmopolitan's 110 best sex tips ever. And that's like for the past 60 plus years, these are the best sex tips ever. If you haven't seen my previous videos covering this exact article, then go back and watch those. I will link them above and do all that kind of cool stuff. But, you know, it's time to get on with it because we are in the home stretch here. We're starting on tip number 81. There are only 30 to go, so let's see if they're good, let's see if they suck like the other ones did, and yeah, let's get into it. So tip number 81. When you're close to climaxing, tighten and loosen like you're Kegling. So let me go back and reiterate that these are sex tips for women, not for men. So basically what this can do is it can help you reach orgasm, and they say it feels pretty good for a guy too. And yeah, it feels pretty good for a guy. Yeah, I mean, not a bad tip. Like I have said in the previous videos, anything that is physically based, any physical technique that you're doing, anything they're trying to tell you that is just purely physical, that is going to be up to individual preference, whether you like it or dislike it. These sex tips aren't going to apply and work for everyone if they're physically based because people have different preferences, right? So not to get too into the weeds of that because we have a lot more tips to go, tip number 82. And that is, the shower is made for the quickie. So if you're in the shower and you want to have your shower sex, then do it there and do it fast is basically what they're saying. And yeah, okay, if you're into that kind of stuff, then go for it. What this tip can do is offer you variety, and variety is extremely important in sex because sex becomes predictable and routine, then it becomes boring and not as stimulating in the mind up here as it would be. And as we know, viewers of my channel know, the brain is the largest, most powerful sex organ that we have. So if this is not getting stimulated up here, then it doesn't quite matter what's going on down there. No matter how great it is going on down there, it's not going to be as good if you're not into it mentally. So to add variety, that is adding excitement, that is adding arousal. You're going to be more horny, more present, because you're thinking, where is this going? I haven't experienced this before. This is fun and new. And so I would say, don't be closed-minded, always be open-minded. Don't judge anything if your partner wants to try something like a quickie shower sex. And yes, you can use these tips to spice up your sex life, but that's basically all it is. It's just a tip to spice up a sexual encounter or two. If you keep doing this over and over again, it will become routine, it will become boring, and then this sex tip is no good anymore. So variety is the key, really. Number 83, create a secret code that translates into sexy times. I personally like this tip. I think it's a good tip because anything that kind of bonds you guys as two sexual partners, that kind of strengthens that bond that you guys have, that is going to improve your sexual quality because you're going to be more comfortable having sex with that person. And if you are more comfortable, you're more able to kind of be aroused, be excited, be horny, and be present in the moment. You're not going to be thinking about insecurities or performing well or all those other stressors that we have. You're going to be just yourself and able to express yourself. And so that's going to make the sexual experience better. So any of these kind of couple bonding things, these kind of things that bring you guys together, a unique language, a unique love language like this, it's a good thing to do. So yeah, good job. 84, remind yourself how much you turn him on. And this is another great thing. If you are trying to get in the mood, trying to get aroused, just seeing your partner, how aroused they are and how much you turn them on can be arousing to you as well. It can be an exciting thing. It can be a very stimulating thing mentally, and it feels good to know that you are able to arouse someone else. Now, this goes both ways. You should also express to your partner that they are arousing to you because you know how good it feels, so give your partner some of that, you know? That's going to be awesome. Your partner's going to be like, yeah, that's cool. So if you're a guy watching this video, then be expressive and let your partner know how much they turn you on and vocalize these things. You should express it vocally. Tell your partner how much they're turning you on. That is going to turn them on a lot. Number 85, touch yourself beneath your bath jets. So another masturbation tip, I would say that if we want to improve our sex lives, we don't need to improve our masturbation skills. It's kind of counterintuitive because masturbation is going to sap you of your sexual drive, your libido, and you're not going to want to have sexual encounters with your real life partner. And so why would we want to do that if we want to improve our sex? I don't know. But these articles, these people, they often will tell you to masturbate more. And I'm not sure why. I'm pretty sure we all know what we like. Trust me, if you have never masturbated before and you want to figure out what you like physically, then go for it. But I think for most of us, we are already an expert on ourselves and we don't need more practice. Try this with your partner. You don't have to do it alone, right? That's the whole fun of sex, is that you're with another person, and that makes it so much more exciting and fulfilling and amazing mentally and physically. Number 86, which is an advanced blowjob move, and it's just basically saying to twist your hands around, do some crazy crap. And yes, this is just like I mentioned in the first tip, where it is just a physical based thing. Try it, and if you like it, you can incorporate it more in your sex life. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it ever again. And these things are just individually preference based, but they can represent variety for you. And so if you're going to use it for variety just to spice up your sex life, then it can be a useful tip. Other than that, then it's just individual preference. 87, want more oral and less jackhammering, but you can't seem to find the right words? Then send it through a sext, is what they're saying. And yes, I mean, communication is so important in sex, and if you are afraid to communicate these things, if you're afraid to just ask for what you want, then either you are with the wrong person, or you are just not communicative enough with that person, and you should feel comfortable enough. If you're already having sex with this person, you should feel comfortable enough to have a conversation with them, right? Wouldn't that make sense? So instead of focusing on how you can get around talking to your partner because it's so awkward and uncomfortable, figure that out first. That would be a better tip than this, basically. But yes, I guess if you want something, you should just be able to directly ask your partner for it. It shouldn't be a big deal. Just do it. Number 88, bring a bullet vibrator to the sex session. So another physical stimulation thing, another variety type thing. So try it. Yeah, it could work. It could spice up your sex life temporarily and yeah, give you a nice experience to look back on. So whatever. Not much more that needs to be said about that. Number 89, while pleasuring him, grab his hand and put it on your junk. And so, yes, this can be a turn on for him and you. And yet again, another variety thing, another thing to just try it and whatever. And I think most of these sex tips are things like this, where it's just kind of physically based. They're not really getting into the weeds and the depth of what actually makes sexual experiences good, like the mental components, the psychological stimulation part of it. It's just telling you to try a bunch of different physical techniques, and the reason they do this is because the physical techniques will work in the beginning because it's new, it's exciting, it hits on that variety thing I mentioned. And so you're thinking, oh wow, these physical tips are awesome, it just spiced up my sex life. But like everything else, and like I mentioned before, if you just keep doing these same physical sex tips over and over again, they're going to get boring, and they're going to just replace the old sex, the old boring sex that you used to have. And then if you incorporate the old sex that you used to have that used to be boring, that is now exciting and is better all of a sudden. And you're thinking, well, it's the same physical technique as before, so why is it better? Well, it's better because you're aroused more, because it's that psychological stimulating thing where it's variety, it's new and exciting. And so that's what you really should be trying to tap into, how you can excite your partner mentally, not just doing crazy things physically. Number 90, lead with compliments. And complimenting is an amazing thing to do because insecurity is basically the bane of all sexual pleasure. If you're insecure during a sexual experience, if you're thinking about things like, am I looking all right? Am I performing well? And you're in your head that whole time, then you're not going to be able to kind of lose yourself and express yourself and be excited and aroused in that experience. And so you really need to get rid of that. So if you are a partner and you want to help someone have a better sexual experience, then compliment them. Tell them that they are amazing. Tell them how much you turn them on. Tell them how much they turn you on, rather. Yeah, you're gonna go up to someone and be like, I turn you on so much. But you guys get the point. If you compliment them, make them feel good, make them feel comfortable in that experience, it's going to be better for them every time you have sex, not just in that individual experience. 91, turn on the tease factor by letting him enter you and then pulling out and going back to foreplay and all that kind of stuff. And yes, this is an amazing thing to do, especially for guys to do. Give them a little taste and then pull away. and then give them something else, and then pull away. This is such a good arousal builder. It is so good for building that mental stimulation, that excitement, because your partner they're going to be begging for it because you're teasing them. I would say don't go too far and just keep teasing where it just becomes an annoyance, because that will actually pull them out of the experience. But it's kind of hard to do that, and you can kind of easily see the line you're towing and tow it correctly, basically. So yes, incorporate teasing, and it's an amazing arousal builder. It can increase the psychological stimulation, the excitement, all that kind of stuff. It's a great thing to do. So good tip. Number 92, get sex on your mind by reading a steamy book before a date or a sexual experience. So this one's a little bit odd to me because I mean, I guess, but you're going to be fantasizing about things that happen in the book or whatever you read, and instead of the partner you're having sex with, it's kind of like watching porn together, where you're almost having the sexual fantasy filled by your voyeuristic viewing of the porn rather than your connection and amazing chemistry that you have as a couple. And so I think it's not that great of a thing to do. I think if you want to kind of prime your mind for sex and you want to kind of get it on your mind, as a partner you can sex them during the day and kind of get their mind going, or just kind of talk to them, flirt with them throughout the day, tell them you want them throughout the day, and just kind of build that over time. And then you can do that with your partner as well. Text them sexy things, flirt with them throughout the day, tell them you want them, and that's going to make the sex, when it actually does happen later in the day, extremely explosive and amazing. Number 93, have your partner scroll down a couple of their favorite sex moves, and you do the same and kind of trade notes. And yes, this is a great thing. Like I said, it hits on the thing in the beginning that I mentioned, where anything you can kind of do to bond as a couple to kind of improve that relationship, that will improve sex down the road. And you're also just kind of getting these things out there and communicating. And communication is so important in sexual relationships. You should not be afraid to communicate anything to your sexual partner. If you're having sex with them, you should be able to talk to them. 94, perfect your striptease. And strip teasing is good, seduction is good, because the act of you doing that, of you performing the striptease, is going to be arousing to you personally and your partner. So it kind of gets both of you guys in the mood. And so anything that you can do to get in the mood and arouse your partner, that's hitting on that mental stimulation thing. That is going to enhance the sexual experience. If you're just going into sex without any foreplay, there isn't going to be possibly much going on in your mind in terms of horniness and arousal. You're just kind of feeling good in that moment. But if you seduce your partner, if you do some variety, some foreplay, some strip teasing, that can get them extremely excited and ready for the sex, and that's going to improve it. 95, switching between hot and cold sensations during oral or anything else, I guess. And yes, okay, you can do this. Another physical based thing that is worth a shot. You should try these things. You should be open-minded with anything in sex. If you like it, you can do it more. If you don't like it, then you don't have to do it more. But that's all there is to that. 96, another vintage Cosmo tip from, 1989, and that is to use your imagination and be creative in the atmosphere in which you have sex. So have sex different rooms, different places, different times of the day. This is just hitting on variety, which, like I said, is important. And yeah, so be imaginative, be creative in your sexual experience, and try new things. Going to spice up your sex life. You never know what you might love until you try it. Number 97 is basically saying to use a vibrating penis ring. And okay, go for it. Yeah, okay. Number 98. Long distance, send him a care package. Put some stuff together in a box, some sexy things, maybe some underwear, some other things, and send it to him as a little sexy gift. And yes, this is just another kind of relationship building thing, bonding thing. Long distance relationships kind of suck because you don't have that in-person communication. And it's just not the same being through a computer screen, as we are all probably extremely aware of at this point, given the circumstances of the world. But, anything that you can do to kind of strengthen your relationship and be sexy in that long distance relationship is a great thing to do. So, good tip, and try it if you are long distance. Number 99, not being allowed to make any noise during the sexual experience. So you have to be silent the entire time. And unfortunately, this is most people's default position, and they are kind of adding it in as this will be variety. It'll it'll be something new. And so I would say if it is something new, then yes, go ahead and try it. If it is your norm, stop doing it and be more expressive, dirty talk, and do all that kind of stuff. Dirty talk is probably the best thing you can possibly do for your sex life in terms of improving quality day to day. So definitely do that. If you're silent all the time, then your sex is lacking. Trust me. Number 100 and the final tip for this video is to kiss every single day and for longer than just a couple seconds. Really lay one on each other and kiss every single day. And yet another couple bonding thing, another great thing you can do to strengthen that relationship, because the strength of that relationship will determine the quality of that sexual experience. The stronger you are, the more comfortable you are, the better that sex will be. So yeah, do anything you can to improve that bond and definitely try this. It could be amazing for you. So I would say today the tips weren't so bad. I guess as you get to the end of the tips, they start getting better, which seems a little odd to me because you would think the better tips would be in the beginning, but you know, I didn't write these articles, so I don't know. I don't have any say in it. I'm just reacting to it and giving you guys what you need to know. So anyway, if you like this video and you haven't seen the original videos, the other parts I've done, definitely check them out. The part 6, the finale of this, finally is coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. If you like this video, you found it informative, and you want to watch more of my content, definitely consider subscribing. It's pretty awesome. You'll learn a lot of cool stuff about sex and relationships, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, until next time, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I really hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.